Our next speaker, and this is going to be, I believe, the last one before intermission, am I right? Is Matthew Baxter. He is going to be talking about Denver being the most haunted city. I know, I'm excited too, buddy. Bless you. As far as his getting to know you questions, his breakfast cereal, and I have questions about this, is Captain Crunch, oops, all berries. Does anybody else know? Are you, yeah? You didn't know either. Oh, Matthew, keeping secrets. And then the rudest animal that he believes, if they could talk, Matthew said is cats, which it's not nice, but it's not wrong. I'm cat. I'm speaking for all of the felines in the room. Anyway, please welcome Matthew to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Now, be warned, there are some images in this presentation of human bones that may be some kind of unsettling to certain members of the audience. My name is Matthew Baxter. I have been a paranormal investigator in Denver for the last 35 years. And because of that, I can say that like every other city in America, Denver is the most haunted city in America. Let me explain. See, back in 2010, it was a very chilly autumn in October, and Cheeseman Park was going through some changes. You see, there was a crew out there digging some trenches for a new sprinkler system to help beautify the park. Now, I have to commend these workers because nothing could distract them from their work. One worker's out there digging along, and he unearths a human body. He dutifully exhumes the skeleton, puts it in a box labeled sprinkler parts, shoves it aside, and goes back to work. He forgets about it. The next morning, there's a cyclist bicycling through Cheeseman Park, and he sees the box. And he thinks, I just won the jackpot in sprinkler parts. So, he opens up the box and was surprised, to say the least. Now, at that moment, he did what any of us would have done in that moment. He pulled out his cell phone excitedly and immediately called the KBPI morning show. What any of us would have done. Now, for those of you that remember 2010 when KBPI was still around, everybody was listening. This alerted the authorities and me to the issue. Now, after a short investigation, they did find several more bodies in that area. So what at first looked like a murder scene was actually evidence that some of the bodies buried in one of Denver's oldest cemeteries were not treated with the respect that maybe they deserved. See, Cheeseman Park was one of Denver's oldest cemeteries. The land was given to Denver by the federal government in the mid to late 1800s. Now, this was supposed to be Denver's most beautiful cemetery. And it was to basically be the final resting place for Denver's elite, for the founders of the city. But it was much more. As you can see, there was a lot of cemeteries kind of put together in this land. But before it was a cemetery, it was a cemetery. You see, this was actually Native American burial ground, the Arapaho. And when it was given to Denver, I say, they could only bury bodies about 3 feet deep, and it was in bentonite because they couldn't disturb the Native American bodies. Now, if you own a home in Denver built on bentonite, you know how unstable it is. These bodies were moving around underground. Pretty creepy, but let me get back to my story. I immediately called the medical examiner's office, and I said, yes, I'd like to come down and examine these bodies. And they go, and you are? I said, I'm Matthew Baxter. I'm a paranormal investigator. Click. They hung up on me. So I called back and I said, look, my name is Matthew Baxter. I want to bring in the Metro State University Human Identification Lab, and we're going to do real forensics on these bodies, and please. And they said yes. So me and the Human Identification Lab went down and spent 2 days with these bodies. And we learned so many things about them using forensic science. It was incredible. Now, this is a 5-minute talk, so I don't have time to go into everything. But I can tell you, one thing I have a question. If taking body parts apart is dismembering, is putting them back together remembering? Okay, never mind. The thing is a lot of people in my line of business like to say that they can talk to the dead. The real problem is getting the dead to talk back. That day, using forensic science, they talked back, and it was incredible. Now, I have to say that that cyclist I talked about earlier, he had to give back the bones. He had to give them back to the authorities, but the skull was missing. No one knew what happened to it, but I think somebody's got a really awesome bong. Thank you.
You guys take a moment to pet Matthew's jacket when you have a chance because it's super soft. He did a great job, right? Yes. Yeah.